Hello and welcome to the podcast We Are Selling. My name's Lee Woodward, appearing on behalf of Realtair, the platform of choice of real estate professionals, serving you pitch, sign and sell. As we talk about a change of market, the ripples all over Australia are enormous. There's people who haven't seen these markets before, and there's a lot of panic going on in our industry. And that's resulted in some really strange actions. So to bring this whole topic to its head, let's bring in one of Australia's top performing real estate agents, also been around to see the test of time, seen enough winters in his own career and marketplaces. He joins us. Please welcome Mr. Mat Steinwede.
Thanks, Lee. Good to be back.
It is good to be back. The marketplace has changed. What's going on for you in the marketplace before we discuss the marketplace challenges?
But it's, like you said it well then, it's a winter. We're just going through a winter. But I'm thriving. I'm seriously thriving. I'm having record months, one after the other.
And I think this is the chess game where you're not relying on people coming to the opens, but let's hit those phones and inspire someone to move.
Yeah, probably, I reckon 30 to 40% of our deals are off market right now.
Now, define off market for those people who think, how does that even work? How does anyone even know about it?
Okay, withdrawn listing that they tried to sell, a few months back or longer, keep a record of them, or prospect. This Facebook thing really interests me. There's this movement towards Facebook, and I've seen it time and time again. Facebook as prospecting and this and that, all these new things. I reckon there's a place for them, but nothing beats walking the streets. Hey, I'm Matt. Do you want to sell your house? And just hearing the people's reaction, even to you making the effort to go and see them, that's how I've built the business that I have. It's like that year 2, 10, 15 of just constantly scraping my core area. Is this person going to sell in 10 years' time? Fantastic. I'll list it in 10 years' time. That's what I'm reaping the rewards of now.
I was speaking about you the other day. I was in another country. You came up with, your numbers, and I said, yeah, that's all good to look at that now, but Matt's really spent a journey of 20 years generating business and opportunities. And if I dropped him off here in this country, first thing he'd do is not Facebook. He'd hit the pavement, start getting his face out there, door knocking, kissing babies. He'd be doing that first. Yet you all think he would blog or vlog or whatever you're going to do. Yet the first thing you would do is if I dropped you off in another country and said, right, you got to start selling real estate, but no one knows who you are. Getting known is an influence job of eyeball to eyeball.
Oh, it is. I've listened to all of your hot topics over the years. I've seen the successful people in real estate, and all of them, there's no quick fix. You look at the people who consistently write large numbers, they did the consistent work years before. I just can't stress that strongly enough at the moment, because I see seminars come out left, right and centre about this social media strategy and all of this. I reckon you can use it for sure. It's like the sprinkles on top of a cake.
Funny enough, when we were doing Scenic, which was what your projects division did, and the developers wanted to hook up Facebook to the database, which we did, and it was like a fire hose coming in.
Yeah.
But when we were ringing them back, they didn't even know, what is it? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And my point to those people was, okay, there's a fire hose of data coming in, but where have all the exchanges come from? And the 38 exchanges that happened in that building came from the established client database of your trust account. People who knew you guys and thought, oh, we'll check it out. The boys think we should have a look. That's real relationships.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else, there's no shortcuts to a great career. You can do anything you like to boost and get all the likes in the world. But getting someone to sign an authority, give you a set of keys and some marketing funds and leave it with you till it actually settles and the money goes in their bank account is what real estate's about.
Totally. I love a changing market. Changing market's exciting. The falling market, the up market, whatever it is, you've got to adapt anyway. But it's the best vendor management in the world when 60 Minutes runs a show for 15 minutes about the house prices falling. It's the best. Or even making people want to sell. Because our job is to always move forward, move people forward emotionally, move people forward. When those stories come out, I know agents talk about them. I don't. I think to myself, who's ready to sell right now? Because now's the perfect time. And you say to an owner, if another 10 stories come out, your price could be 1.1, then $1 million. So if you're thinking of selling in the next 6 to 12 months, I think the perfect time is now. What do you think? Sure, let's go for it.
There's a time in the world called real time. And real time is we've got no bedrooms left and more kids than bedrooms.
Yeah.
So the market theme doesn't fix my bedroom problem.
It doesn't.
I need some space. Or we've got too much space and we want to be in a small... the real reason for moving is quite separate to a marketplace. And when you're working with mum and dads who are just working, bringing up the family, trying to get by a living. They're not checking out all that media. They're just like, no, I just want to move, man.
They want to combine that, so their motivation. A down market is a motivation market. That's all you need to look at. You can have all the scripts and dialogues in the world. Ask someone why they're moving. If they won't tell you right now, get to know them better and they'll tell you. And then the motivation around them wanting to move, then it becomes price. So then it's about making a smart financial decision. So that comes into timing. So is it now? Is it in 3 months? Is it 6 months? Do they want to gamble with it? So you combine those two things and you'll find it's not too hard to sort of work with owners and get them moving.
What are you noticing and what's your disappointment on an industry level of what's going on with our fees?
One of the reasons I rang you, fees, it's out of control, like literally out of control. It's the single dumbest strategy I've ever seen in any industry. Agents waking up, not understanding their worth, and if they're not worth enough, get more value around what you do. And not understanding their worth, going into somebody's home and saying to them, or saying to yourself, to secure this business, I'm going to give myself a pay cut. That's my strategy. So I'm going to undercut everybody to enthuse an owner to come deal with me, and I'm going to pay for their marketing. That's the poorest business decision I've ever seen. You cannot win. You can't win doing that. And when there's a price war, it's a race to the bottom. And you've got to also understand some buyers you have to work with for a year. You don't get paid for that. But the owner has the benefit of that. Like, that's what they pay for. They pay for your database. They pay for the time you spent, your expertise, like even the time that you exchange. So exchanging 3 months of your life potentially to work on an owner's listing. I know some sell in a day, but what they're getting most of the time is the relationship you built for 6 months prior with a buyer. I would love somehow for it to be regulated.
Well, it used to be.
I know.
We were all the same.
3.1 on the first 100,000, then 2.5 on the balance. Best thing.
For our listener who's listening to this now saying, okay, I've tried all the fandangle tinsel stuff and for a lot of noise, not a lot happened. We've just explained you can't get away from the grit and grind of being a sales professional. And we're in sales and service. So when you talk about the client not having to haggle with you on fees, that's the service side of, look, I'm paying the extra to have you sort this out for me. You're my advisor. Now, if it comes to the point that we shouldn't sell it, or which can be an option, you don't always have to release it. But if it's going to connect that the other one I'm looking at's dropped even further and it's financially better for me, guide me in that. But I need substantial evidence to make those decisions.
Yeah, for sure.
So for our listener now, if you were, and you got this with your own guys who are saying, you know, what's going to go on with this change in market, how do you hit the ground running now? What are the first things you do? Are you going back through the data, or because it seems to me people are just waiting for new data to turn up, yet the gold's in the old?
Yeah, the gold's in the old. I always think of it like this. If the market goes down, everything you do goes up. So you just triple what you do. So you triple talking to people, triple your service levels. You just stand out. You create the energy that you want to see. That's what I do. So it's like all these, I could sit back and just wait for people to ring me and all this sort of stuff, but every day, chip, 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 bit forward, bit forward, bit forward. I have a hot list of about 50 people, still cold call my core areas, do all of the same stuff. You can't prepare for it like a declining market. That's your daily task every day. So when you do that every day and a changing market comes 5 years down the track, you are prepared, like totally prepared, because you've got the relationships, you've got the momentum. Momentum is so hard to compete with.
And once you've got those people to speak to every day and you're not looking for the next stranger, because that's what I'm noticing now, everyone's chasing strangers versus, again, in touring the country this year, you say to people, how many established clients have you got? Don't know. So you can't be ringing those. And then you've got your top 50 list, which are my best chance list. There's so many investors out there who right now are probably thinking of selling their property. People think, oh, they won't, it's a down market.
So many.
But I can notice 2 units go for lease in the building where I own a building, but no one rings you to tell what they lease for. And no one know you're thinking of flicking it. And they think, oh, no, well, they only bought a couple of years ago. Don't assume anything about anyone that they're going to just make a decision. It would be far better for you to just check in, just letting you know, another one in your building just rented 4. What's your thoughts on that one? Are you going to hang on to it or? And you'd be amazed how fluent a conversation is today.
Totally. Got a property exchanging tomorrow, record price in the street, like record. And I've had to talk to buyers through, you know, all the stories that have come out. I'll have a 66W tomorrow. That owner I've been speaking to 2.5 years, she said, I'll sell if I get the right price at some point. I can't tell you how much gold is out there. Like, it's waiting for the phone to ring is like, forget about it. Like, even running around being busy, I don't want to be busy. I want to be prospecting. So people listening to this, if you're watching the news thinking, where's my next sale coming from? Where's this? like you said before, people still want to sell, people still want to buy. You just got to run faster and find them all.
And super glue yourself to the relationship. It's not about just one call. It's the off chance call. I was driving past, noticed you'd done this out the home. What are you doing? Oh, It's funny you should ring. Doesn't take much actually, it takes a millisecond for someone to go, what do you reckon I get? Versus they weren't thinking about it at all. And I think good agents know how to stimulate a market and then inspire them to say, you know what, if I had someone now and they would pay a premium, would you release it if I got you the money? And you're fast tracking that, we'll do it in 8 months' time. Well, why not now?
Yeah, if you have the buyout.
The signals we send as an industry are wrong. It was easy, way over reserve, got 50 grand above reserve. Why you'd mention you got 50 grand above reserve to make the buyer feel so awful is not a good thing anyway. But saying we sold it first day, first week, it's easy. We project to the consumer that this is not hard. And it is really hard. The truth of it is there is so many hours, so many phone calls. Why do we give this reflection that it's simple and anyone could do it? But when we look at the Australian real estate fee, it's actually not a fee till performance anyway. So saying to an owner, you don't actually pay me. I come off the sale price at the end from the profits generated. And only at a level that you say, okay, I'll sell it. So I can work here for 4 to 6 weeks, drive my car, bring my team in, do all our facilitation of the 135 tasks it takes to get a property through the digital world. And whatever figure I come up with, if you say, oh, no, that's not enough, we get nothing as that fee. And we work in that time knowing we may get nothing. If we get a result you're ecstatic with, we're paid a contingency fee only of 2.5%. That's only if you're happy. So here we are today discussing today's fee, but there is no fee unless I perform. And I don't want any money from you, just the opportunity to show you what I can do. So let's see what performance we get, and then we can judge, do you think we're worth it or not? But that's not a today decision.
No, that's exactly right. A couple of great things. I want to talk about tools, also uncontested listings. So all of your prospecting up front, the best is uncontested listings. They pay the right fee. Then no one else is coming in.
So that's that fishing upstream. You're not going up against the 20 people saying they'll do it for less. You're in there pre-sold, but you've earned the right to be pre-sold.
Totally.
Where are you having the best breakthrough now? So this week you got to hit the phones. You got your top 50 list, but you're quite instantaneous in your thinking. You'll be driving around and think, I'm onto this. I'm onto this channel. I'm onto this. It's like you find a vine of gold or something and you're off. What comes into your mind on a creative sense to think, I'm going to chase that?
The angels tell me.
Good answer.
I don't have a to-do list anymore. I don't actually have a to-do list.
No, you're more agile.
Yeah, I'm just constant, because it's like, you've got so much traction and momentum. It's just always coming in, going bang, bang, bang. So I do everything straight away. And so that's why I don't need a to-do list anymore. So at the end of the day, you sort of know what's there and bang, 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 bang. But the other thing I was going to talk about is, if I could, just the tools. So I've put together a thing called a buyer edge, which is about 12 tools that they can use to find the very best buyers. About 6 of them are generic and about 6 of them we only bring. So I'll go through these with people. It's just a recent thing. And I'll say to them, if you decide not to use us, it's completely fine, but we need to rule out these 6 tools. So our social media strategy, our personal database, our McGrath database, all of these sorts of things. And I explain them in detail as well. I do live searches for their properties. So I'll say, let's pull up how many buyers are in there right now. I'll pull the iPad out. I'll go through all this. So it's almost like they need it. And at the end, if they say, oh, this other agent's going to do it for 1.5%, I said, that's fine. Maybe they might be the agent for you. This is what we are. And these are the tools that we bring. Plus, and then I'll talk about negotiation as well. You almost got to make it so they want you. They need you. If they don't, it's like they just chop off half of the process. To go in there and say, we put you on realestate.com, domain.com, I provide great service, we've got a signboard out the front, blah, 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 expect them to choose the cheapest agent.
Do you know there's been some great listing presentations in the past where a skilled agent will go in and say, oh, you've had somebody else in?
Yeah.
And they'll go, oh, we've had 6. Oh, tremendous. They spoke about the websites, the press, and we do all that.
Yeah.
Let me just talk about what we do different.
Yeah. Totally.
And there is 1 hour saved.
That's awesome. I love that.
We do all that.
Yeah.
Everyone does that. So just, you see all those folders? Yeah, we got all that.
Yeah. And they even pay to put you on there, realestate.com.
That's right.
It's like, well, they put you on realestate.com and they're going to pay for it. So, yeah.
So separate to the base fee,
and
they would have offered you a base fee, which can look quite attractive. I want to tell you about that Agent Platinum Premium now. When you hear someone getting a record result or an incredible purchaser was located from a different location, that was never from a base fee agent. The base fee gives you that standard market. But with our reach and the reason you go with someone like a Mat Steinwede is I'm just in different conversations. You know, people ring us that might have to come here in a helicopter because they've heard of something else we did in another rural property and that person's quite famous and mentioned us. That doesn't happen in base rates. They don't get into those conversations. And the worst thing you can do is put the wrong agent in front of the right buyer, especially at this level.
Totally.
And that's exactly where you fit into that, but you're going to need me on board.
100%. I love the saying, like, you need all the tools working for you, like you just said, but at this time, and the declining market is the best. Like, it's so good. People are in a little bit of a fear. They're looking for, like, some support, some guidance, some help. Give me a hand. I'll show you how to do it. I say now more than ever, you need an agent that understands how to protect your price. I love that saying, and just quiet. And you can just see them change. I say, can I show you how I'm going to do it?
Beautiful pausing, nice big statements. Matt, I've never seen you so excited when everybody else is so terrified.
I'm loving it.
But that's that thing of a seasoned agent. Oh, you call that a bad market? That's nothing. I remember the 80s. So suddenly here you are in this new space where skill is going to show through.
It is.
When you and I did the Mat Steinwede system, you know, that was one of the biggest audio book releases this country's ever seen in training. You're still, all the way down the track, still following that same model.
Same.
And I have people ask me about you and technology all the time. I go, he doesn't have an interest in that. He's just flat out. Oh, but imagine if you had that.
The better. I think sometimes people have a bit of an illusion that it doesn't matter if you have a database, you're still going to drive the thing.
Still going to ring it.
You're still going to add things to it. And I don't use a computer. I only use email sometimes. I just want to call people, be in front of people and put deals together. And I think when you have that clarity of mind, it seems to create a bubble around yourself.
Mat Steinwede, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your results into the future.
Thanks, Lee.
And that concludes another podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening and also the incredible feedback we're getting from the content. As one of our listeners, if you have any special requests, please send that through as an email to requests@lwts.au. That was requests@lwts.au, and we'll include that within our programming, find the right talent or person to answer the question, or share that incredible story. I'm Lee Woodward, the author of the Complete Salesperson course, appearing on behalf of Realtair, the platform of choice for real estate professionals, allowing you to pitch, sign and sell real estate. Book your demonstration at realtair.com. Till next week, goodbye.